It's This Week in Bourbon. Lizard. Here's your headlines for August 8th, 2025. Uncle Nearest is being sued for $100 million and is publicly fighting back. Harper releases a 34-year-old bourbon and Parker's Heritage number 19. The details have been announced. Before we come back, here's a quick word from our partners. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is This Week in Bourbon, a very tired, strenuous, but yet exciting This Week in Bourbon.
It is, yes. I've never slept better in my life.
Have you?
But I'm still tired.
I'm still getting less sleep than usual, but I am more excited than ever. And we'll talk about that here in a second because we've got some other big announcements happening on the pursuit side of things. But yeah, lizard.
I know. I'm like, what does that mean?
Never heard that?
I haven't. No.
All right. So,
some TikTok thing?
No. Well, I mean, obviously it's on TikTok and a few other different things. You might want to put your headphones on so you can hear this one.
Okay.
But the reason why it got to there is because, let me pull it up here real quick. It's at the end of I think it was a Pixar or a Disney movie or something like that. And it's, after the credits, they just show something. And this is all it is.
Lizard.
It's just a lizard pressing a lizard button.
That's like my kids.
But everybody's like remixing it and doing different things with it. So, you have something like this.
Lizard. When we drink, we do it right. Lizard.
Should have been lizard.
Yeah.
That brings me back to my DJ days where you could, push stuff,
those days.
You could record that loop and then just hit the button and,
Did you know how to work the whole board? Do you still know?
Like
the BPMs and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet I could do that.
Okay. I've got my daughter had dreams of being a DJ for 8 seconds, and so we bought her a legit board.
Was it Pioneer? Or,
yeah, it's a Pioneer board.
Yeah, Pioneer is what I had. It's nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact model. It's been, 12 years since I retired. But
I think the technology's upgraded since then, too. You don't actually have to use turntables.
The thing is, the technology's so good. Like, people are like, these DJs are so amazing live. I'm like, no, they're not. it's most of it's done like pre-show, and then it's just like putting on headphones and like, when they're like up there, like it's just all BS.
Well, I'm sure a lot of the large stage productions, because it's all timed to pyrotechnics and lighting and all this other kind of stuff. So that would be impossible to be able to do. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be impossible, but you can at least turn the volume down, turn the volume up. You have that going for you.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's there's other ways.
Put in a horn,
Yeah. It's a good old horn. That's what we like to see.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk about some announcements. You got any travel or anything coming up?
I do. Yeah. I'll be in Denver at Spirit Wine Provisions August 29th. I believe that's the day. Gosh. Yes. Or no, sorry. August 30th.
Yeah, there we go.
August 30th, Saturday, August 30th. But I'll be in Denver. So looking forward to seeing folks there at Spirit Wine and Provisions. That'll be at night, well, at evening, like 5 o'clock. So, but
it's an early dinner.
It's a dinner, not dinner.
Okay.
But just got back from Kansas City. Want to give a huge shout out to Kansas City Bourbon Club. We had a great event at the Rock Hill Grill. Want to give a huge thanks to the folks at Ben Holiday, especially Mark, for allowing me to use their Diamond Club passes at the Royals game. That was really nice.
Oh, Diamond Club.
Ben Holiday must be doing way better than we are because they have the Diamond Club. My son loved it.
We don't have that. We might be able to get maybe like a 50-cent hot dog at the Bat Stadium. For you.
That's right. Yeah. But no, Kansas City was great. Great city. I hadn't been there in like 15 years, and it's an awesome city. So really enjoyed it. Had a great time. Shout out to Mike Daler. Got to meet him in person for the first time. And Smart, Craig and Sarah are our reps there. They're awesome. So it was great to meet everybody, all the accounts, Hy-Vee, Macadoodles, Bubbles, all those great accounts throughout. So, yeah.
Why don't you talk about your barbecue pursuit while you were there?
Oh, yeah. Meet Mitch. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, our good friend Matt Pittman and Brian Lowe connected me with Mitch Benjamin, who owns Meet Mitch. If you haven't had his sauce, the Womp sauce, it's freaking the best barbecue sauce on the planet. But his burn-ins were outstanding. Ribs were outstanding.
I like it.
But he gave me they were doing this thing. They kind of did it on TikTok, and it blew up. It had like 1 million views, but they took burn-ins, dipped them in like corn dog batter, then fried them. Like for corn dog burn-ins, and it might have been the best bite of barbecue I've had.
Oh wow!
But I needed a side of Lipitor.
So does that mean you understand the virality of TikTok and what it can do for you?
Yeah,
Are you finally coming around?
But he's in food and restaurants. I don't think you
totally
can do
agree.
it with alcohol.
Yeah, you haven't. Actually, you can, because that's what Cutwater's going through right now.
Oh, that's true.
See, Cutwater's got a moment on TikTok right now. Anybody that doesn't know, it's basically all these kids are getting. I say kids, they're over 21, but they're getting Cutwater because it's like 14-15% or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you have 3 of them, and everybody's just making videos of them, like using video effects of them being dizzy and stuff.
Yeah.
Because
wait till you taste them, then you won't want them anymore.
Well, I mean, they're just really boozy.
Yeah,
but
they are.
just goes to show you that you can have a moment on TikTok.
You
as well.
can, yes.
Well,
You got any announcements?
not
Travel?
really.
Oh, and I'll be in Nashville this weekend, but if you haven't bought tickets, you can. Well, this airs Friday, so
It is there. It is.
So I'll be there this Saturday. I'll be at the Southern Whiskey Society festival, so food and spirits. So come by and see us.
Come by and see us. We got some other things to kind of talk about with Pursuit on Whiskey Row, but you're going to have to stay tuned a little bit for that, because we have been working our tails off this week, getting ready to open the doors. We are so very close. We're not even a soft 30 anymore. We might be like a soft
7.
5. Yeah, soft
5,
7. We'll
6.
see. We'll see what it is. So make sure you follow us on Instagram. If you're subscribed to the Pursuit Spirits email list, you will be the first to know exactly when we're going to be able to do that. And who knows, might be dropping some old Anvil there.
Ooh,
Finally, right?
I need some.
Finally. Yeah, it's, I didn't have a bottle at my house
I didn't either.
until I was just walking around here the other day and I saw a sample bottle up and I was like, you know what? I'm taking that home. I was like, I deserve it.
I haven't had one either, and no shit, I haven't tried it since I blended it together. And we were in Kansas City, and somebody had it at their like they had this little speakeasy bar. It's a home bar, but anyways, they had a bottle of it, and that was the first time I've had it. Since I had to go all the way to freaking Kansas City to.
It just goes to show you that when you're in the business, you kind of get so jaded and forgotten lost about all the things that you're working on.
I'm always working on the next 6 months to a year, so it's like whatever's out now, I'm like, I don't know what that was put together a long time ago.
So long ago.
Yeah.
So long ago. Well, let's go ahead. You ready to dive on some bourbon news?
Let's do it.
The first half is going to be pretty light, but it is all pretty much lawsuits.
Yeah.
Then, since we took last week off, there's a bunch of new releases. But the first one is our big headline. It's the one that's taken over all the social media airwaves. Uncle Nearest and Nearest Green Distillery are facing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit from their creditor, Farm Credit Mid-America PCA, which alleges that the company has defaulted on over $100 million in loans. This lawsuit is filed in the U.S. District Court and seeks to have a receiver appointed to protect the collateral. Because according to the suit, Uncle Nearest has failed to make principal and interest payments. They used loan proceeds over $2 million. Used the loan proceeds to buy an over $2 million home and then sold the barrels, which served as the majority of the collateral, to then pay other vendors. The lawsuit also claims that Uncle Nearest failed to maintain a net worth of at least $100 million in 2024. And had previously overstated its borrowing base by approximately $21 million. The creditor states that
a little rounding area.
Yeah, give or take $1 million between friends. The creditor states that Uncle Nearest has been in default on its loan since early as January 2024, and that attempts to reach a resolution were largely met with delayed responses, forcing them to seek relief in federal court. The lawsuit asked for a judgment against Uncle Nearest for a grand total of $102,269,182 and a solid 84 cents, plus interest, fees, and costs.
Yikes.
Well, you want to go ahead and talk about the rebuttal here?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So in response, it has been very public. Fawn and all of them have been on social media.
The People CEO.
Yeah. And it says, in response to a lawsuit filed by the creditor, Uncle Nearest owners Fawn and Keith Weaver have described the allegations as demonstrably false. The lawsuit claims the company has defaulted on over $100 million loans and so on and so forth. And they said that, the $2 million estate, which we didn't mention, was in Martha's Vineyard. Keith Weaver addressed these claims, stating that the suggestion that they have not paid the bank in over a year is just not true, and that the Martha's Vineyard home was not a personal benefit. He called the lawsuit personal because it named him and Fawn individually, and Weaver referred to the timing of the suit as purposeful, especially given the company's planned participation in an annual event in Martha's Vineyard, and he maintained that Uncle Nearest continues to experience year-over-year growth and is worth protecting.
Yeah. This one's juicy.
We've had a little bit of a sidebar conversation about this because we're watching it all happen in real time.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things that you said, you actually reached out to me and you're like, I really want to comment on this, but I know I shouldn't. And that's because banks typically don't start smear campaigns.
Yes. They want to be in the background. They just want money. They just want to get paid. They don't want to be acknowledged for anything, even good or bad. And so that's my first conclusion. Now, obviously, this is their lawsuit. So this is all their side. We've heard a little bit, from Fawn on Instagram, stating that this is a smear campaign and that, she went through each state and like how much growth Uncle Nearest has had and this and that. And so we haven't seen any like official response. We've kind of seen like, public response, which is, it doesn't really matter. It's
that's not an actual lawsuit.
Exactly.
That's a bunch of podcasters commenting on it. That's about the same equivalent.
You hate to see it. We understand this space kind of with lending with barrels and assets. Barrels appreciate and you can take that equity and finance more barrels and this and that. Well, barrels have kind of came down in value because of how much whiskey was made over the few years. And so there's a lot of companies are going through, how do we navigate this loan to value and this and that. And so banks are getting more, I guess, scrupulous with understanding like the value of these barrels and whatnot, because really you didn't have to think about it. They were appreciating so fast. And now, so I'm sure banks are putting under a microscope and they're like, well, wait a minute, where are these barrels, and you're doing all this and allegedly haven't paid. So yeah, this is not good at all for, I think, Uncle Nearest, but
no,
that's just
if a bank calls in $100 billion loan on you, you what do you get? You can't fight it. Like you owe the money.
You owe the money.
The bank can do whatever they want.
The bank can absolutely do whatever they want. This happened in the real estate market in the 80s where, banks were just calling a lot of people, same in the late 2000s where, people were just so leveraged with real estate because it was appreciating so fast. And then they're like, well, we're calling your note. We don't care. We need the money back because banks also need, they have to have a lending ratio to where they have positive assets versus loans. And so they need to call some loans to get those positive assets. So they need the money too, so they can continue to lend. And so, yeah, it's, I'm rambling here, but
no, it's okay. This is why we have you as our pseudo CFO, because you can explain some of this sort of stuff in the accounting purposes.
I know surface
enough to be dangerous.
Enough to be dangerous. Yeah. Enough to keep our. But I did message our banker and say we haven't even bought anything. I was like, I guess Kenny could buy a Porsche with.
Can I get my Porsche finally?
Yeah, Porsche. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. This is juicy. Fawn's obviously a very energetic, captivating person. So like. Of course, she feels like her reputation's on the line, and two, her fans are like, they don't care what, if you read through the comments on Instagram, they don't care what the allegations say. They're all 100%.
Yeah, it was really weird
on Fawn's side, and so
I am amazed by how much like engagement she does have.
She has
on Instagram and stuff like that. There was a ton. I did find it a little weird when she said, to show your support, go out and clear the shelves.
I know, that seemed a little desperate, or like...
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like, being in the industry, we know what that means. It's like, you need your sales numbers pumped up.
Yeah.
And that's what that means. And then to do a sign-off with regulators. I'm a child of that era, and so I love Warren G., but I didn't understand it. So
I was just like, well, mount up.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've got, I would say the next couple months of this topic is going to be poking its head out. We're probably going to see a countersuit relatively soon as well. It could be for defamation. It could be for different kinds of things. I would like to see this get resolved in a happy and healthy way. But yeah, everything that we've seen so far in the bourbon industry, when we talk about Luca Mariano, Whiskey House, Garrard County, all these people that are facing some sort of, I wouldn't say Whiskey House wasn't a default, but some sort of default. You're in the, 10s to 30s million, 100, like that's substantial.
Big cash.
That's substantial.
Yeah, until you don't know like how the company's set up. I'm sure there's private investors, bank loans, this and that. And so I don't know. They're going to, it's going to be a mess but the article did say that Uncle Nearest does get to keep ownership and maintaining business as usual. I think there was a blurb in there that said that. So,
during this process?
During this process.
I hope so. That would be a huge hit to them.
Yeah. So hopefully they can get all figured out, and because it was the most awarded bourbon, in history.
It is. I mean, it is interesting when you see these things happen, because it's hard to gauge like how well a company's doing, because from the outside looking in, for the longest time, I looked at Uncle Nearest. I'm just like, man, they are on a rocket ship.
Oh, great story.
There's great story.
Great product.
Scaling as fast as they possibly can. They're going international. They
bought a damn cognac company.
They bought a cognac company. They bought a Martha's house, or Martha's Vineyard house,
like a $40 million facility down in, was it Shelbyville?
Yeah, quote unquote the biggest bar in America.
Yeah.
They put in there too. So from the outside looking in, you're like, holy crap, they're killing it. But when you see this happen, you're kind of like, well, you do have to pay back the bank. That is number one. It's kind of being the owner of the business, right? Everybody gets paid except for you, or you're the last one getting paid.
100%.
That's how it's supposed to work. So we'll just sit over here with our pursuit chump change, and we'll be just fine.
We'll be okay.
Yeah. All right. Ready for the next lawsuit?
Let's go.
Okay. So
this is turning into like, what's her name? Nancy. She was like on one of those CNN or Fox. She would like cover like hot trials. And
okay. I thought you were saying return to like a Judge Judy episode or something. Well, a settlement has been reached in a trademark dispute between Maker's Mark and a Louisville-based gourmet dog treat company called Wigglewow over the name of Maker's Bark. Wigglewow created a dog treat back in 2021 that is shaped like a Maker's Mark bottle, has the red wax, which is dipped and everything like that, but it's icing. And this was filed for a trademark for Maker's Bark in February 2022. However, Maker's Mark's legal representative opposed the trademark in January, claiming Wigglewow, quote, knowingly and intentionally infringed upon and diluted their brand. They asserted that Maker's Mark has coined the term and explored using the Maker's Bark brand for pet treats years prior to Wigglewow's filing, even contracting another dog food producer, which is Rudy Green's, in late 2019, and it was going to help create these kind of treats. Maker's Mark alleged that Rudy Green's reached out to Wigglewow for assistance, and Wigglewow subsequently launched its own mimicking product, quote, without seeking Maker's Mark's approval, and indeed behind Maker's Mark's back. Wigglewow's founder, Mark Pfeiffer, confirmed the settlement was reached on Friday, July 25th, stating that he is unable to continue the legal fight due to the high costs. The Maker's Bark dog treat is scheduled to be retired from production on August 19th, 2025. However, the terms of the settlement have not been disclosed.
Yeah, this one's kind of a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. Here's the part that's kind of, I don't know. It's tough. So Wigglewow, do you know much about the company?
I don't.
It's all people with Down syndrome that work there. And
gotcha.
And it all goes to help like give jobs to people with Down syndrome.
Oh, that makes it tough.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, right.
Yeah. Man. You'd think they would be able to come to an agreement or something on that.
It's unfortunate to.
I mean, I get it. You got to protect your mark, but if they're raising money, okay, I don't. You just pulled on my heartstrings there.
I know. And to be fair, I do think Wigglewow was probably in the wrong over there, because they created something that obviously looks fake or looks like it. It's all the same thing. I'm sure Sazerac is going to go after anybody that has anything Pappy related. we're going to go after anybody. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. We don't have the money. So if you do want to make some pursuit stuff, we can come like with a co-lawsuit just to be able to like get some headlines. Other than that, we'll draft up some cease and desist for the fun of it. But just to go along with that, we actually do have a new dog toy in the gift shop.
Yeah, the Pawsuit.
Pawsuit United. This was something that we wanted to create a bottle shape out of our new bottle as a dog toy. And we were going to have Pursuit across it. My wife says, well, let's do a fun little play on it and call it Pawsuit United. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's cute.
That is good.
It does look good.
That's better than Maker's Bark.
Yeah. And stuffing won't come out of it, right?
It probably will.
Yeah.
It probably will.
Those dogs are notorious for that.
Yeah. Actually, this guy reminds me. Remember there was another lawsuit. It was the Jack Daniels, the Bad Spaniels one. This is just proof that if you're going to be in the dog toy business,
stay away from bourbon.
Stay away from whiskey brands, because at this point you should know that whiskey brands, they love to sue people.
That's right.
All right. Our last news story here is that National Bourbon Week. National Bourbon Week will return to Bardstown from June 14th to the 21st of 2026. So I guess start making plans now. The week-long celebration includes tastings, distillery dinners, limited edition releases, educational experiences, and the Bourbon City Street Concert. The Bourbon Capital Alliance and the Bardstown Nelson County Tourism are collaborating to host the event. And who knows? It might be Pursuit Palooza 2026 as well.
Yeah. We were part of it this year. It was awesome. That street festival was fun. It was cool.
Yeah, everybody had a good time. You could go and hit up all the different bars and restaurants and go to Toddy's and buy a bottle and drink it on the street, because that's what we did.
Brilliant. Then the band was good too. I remember like they just started when we were getting on the bus and they started just blaring Cranberry Zombie. And I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Zombie.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be your earworm until we go to this next commercial break. But stick around. We got bourbon release news coming up. Zombie. Finish it up. Hey. Here's the bourbon release news, y'all. We got quite a few since we took a week off last week, so we're going to kind of scream through a little of these. So Proof and Wood has announced the newest release in its Tumblin Dice series called Tumblin Dice Single Barrel Rye, and this is finished in Laird's Apple Brandy barrels. This begins with a rye whiskey made from a mash bill 95.5, aged for 7 years, followed by an additional year in Laird's Apple Brandy barrels. The special release represents a 10-barrel production, and it says that it was finished, apparently Laird and Company, I didn't know this, it's America's oldest licensed distillery that was established in 1780. It's got some history there.
Dang.
This official launch took place at Tales of the Cocktail, and going to start being available in select markets and retailers while supplies last. I don't have a proof or a price on it.
I love Laird's. I bought a bottle of it for a cocktail that was like rye whiskey, Laird's, and anyways, it was really boozy but really good. So I'm a big fan of apple brandy or Calvados for finishes, so I bet it's good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what's the cocktail that has brandy and bourbon, or brandy and rye and some other stuff in it?
I don't know. I think it's the one
it'll come to me, and then some people are gonna be in the comments and be like, yeah, this is what it is. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
I could probably look it up here in a second, but we'll go to the next news story. And that's New Riff has announced the return of its second annual headliner release. And this is going to be celebrating 11 years of world-class whiskey. The 2025 edition features 4 different whiskeys, including 2 from the first batches distilled 11 years ago. And proceeds from this will release and will benefit the Brighton Center of Northern Kentucky, which is another nonprofit. This year's edition is bottled without chill filtration, 111 proof, and features a chorus, that's funny, 28% of 11-year-old corn whiskey, 27% of a 11-year-old bourbon, 15% of a 10-year Balboa rye, 15% of a 10-year-old rye, and 15% of an 8-year-old Aroostook malted rye. Not sure. This is going to retail for $150 per bottle, and they will be available for purchase starting, last week and through New Riff's Whiskey Club.
Ooh. Love me some New Riffs, so sure it's good.
Brandy.
Really like the high note we tried.
Yes, they've been doing a lot of kind of good stuff recently. So I've always liked a lot of stuff from New Riff. So that I'm sure it's always going to be solid. All right, so let's go ahead and with the next one, which is Buffalo Trace, everybody's favorite distillery.
Woohoo!
They're releasing 2 ultra-aged wheat whiskey innovations. The first is a Weller 18-year-old, and the second edition of Weller Millennium. Weller 18-year-old is the brand's oldest age statement to date and will be available only at global travel retail at airports including LAX, JFK, and London Heathrow. The second edition, well, it says will be available via GTR. I don't know if it just means that you're not going to see it on shelves, but I guess if you're flying through and you're an international traveler, go look for that. The second edition of Weller Millennium is a newly crafted blend of vintage straight wheated bourbons and wheat whiskeys distilled at Buffalo Trace in 2001, 2003, and 2006. And this is going to be available via their global distributor networks and will have another limited supply. Again, no proof, no price.
You know, it's funny. I had never bought anything at whatever those called, duty-free shops.
Yeah.
And so it's a funny story. I was out of Zins. And
Well, here we go, right?
And I was stuck at the airport because my flight got delayed. And the only place I had it was the duty-free. Okay. And so I go try to buy them. And they're like, sir, you can't buy them. You're like, you live in Kentucky. And I'm like, what the hell? So I can't buy anything you can't buy, if you live in the U.S., you can't buy anything from the duty-free store.
I don't know.
So that's what they told me. And so,
well, maybe if you're only traveling domestically. If you're traveling internationally, I think you can.
we did. We were flying to Canada. And so I was like,
What airport was this?
this was at Washington Dulles.
Oh, okay, in D.C. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so I was like, so I had to spend a day with like no nicotine. And it was like, I'm scratching.
How's my family going to cope with me?
Exactly.
I'm cranky and everything like that.
Yeah.
By the way, the cocktail is a Vucar.
Oh, yes, that's right. Vucar.
Voicar, whatever. Vucar. How bad did I butcher that, everybody?
Yeah, French.
Vucar. All right. Goose Island has already announced their 2025 Bourbon County Stout lineup that'll be happening on Black Friday, November 28th, featuring 6 distinct variants with strong emphasis on collaborations with Heaven Hill. Senior Innovation Manager Mike Siegel highlights that the barrels are viewed as a key ingredient, leading to partnerships with distilleries like Heaven Hill. And this year's collection includes, first is the original stout. This is aged for an average of 12 months. And these bourbon barrels come from 4 major Kentucky distilleries, including Heaven Hill, Buffalo Trace, Four Roses, and Wild Turkey. And then here's your variants. First is the Cherries Jubilee Stout. This is finished in cognac cask and blended with Montmorency cherries, citrus, and panela. Don't know what that is. Again, inspired by dessert.
That sounds good.
The second is a chocolate praline stout, and this is flavored with cocoa nibs, hazelnuts, almonds, cashews, and dates. You have the prop, or the proprietor stout. This is aged with walnuts, pistachios, cassia bark, and honey, inspired by baklava. And this is, again, prop is only exclusive to the Chicago area. You have the double barrel stout, and it's aged in 2 sets of previously used of Heaven Hill's 7-year-old bottled and bond bourbon. And then you have the Reserve Stout. However, this one was aged for 2 years in barrels that previously held the 2023 Parker's Heritage Collection 10-year cask strength rye.
Wow. Lots of good options. Sounds like you're the beer guy. So do any of those excite you?
Actually, the prop is the only one that I'm kind of mostly excited about. But
I like the one with the cognac and cherries. That sounds tasty.
Yeah, I actually just opened one up this week because we've had such a hell of a time getting everything downtown ready to open, and I have a few different Bourbon County stouts, and so I grabbed, it was the Bramble Rye, essentially a stout aged in rye whiskey barrels, but also infused with like berries, and I was like, it's not bad, but it's not really my jam. I kind of
Don't like fruit in your beer.
not as much, but I'm also kind of getting to the point where everything that we're flavoring with cocoa nibs and hazelnuts and citrus and all this sort of stuff. I'm just like, I'm ready for just flavored beer again. Like, just give me a good stout.
Yeah, it reminds me of honey finished bourbon and maple finished bourbon.
Everything, right?
Yeah, because to me, it's essentially adding flavors.
Yeah, I mean, this is the cycle that we've seen. I mean, we saw the pastry stout rise of beers, and then the same things kind of happened with bourbon. It'll fall off. It'll eventually fall off. I actually, you know what? I don't think it will.
I don't
And here's
either.
the thing, because I just put it on Patreon this past week because there was an article that came out saying flavored whiskey is on a substantial rise.
Oh, yeah. I believe it. I mean,
And so I put out to our community and I said, if we were to create a flavored whiskey, what would you like to taste like? And everybody goes, oak. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, we got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anytime like Crown comes out with a new flavor, it flies off. Jack just came out with their blackberry. So I hear it's doing well.
Yep.
Yeah. People like flavors.
Yep. Well, I'll go ahead and skip to that because Jack Daniel has announced the launch of his Tennessee Blackberry.
I didn't even look at the headline.
It's the newest addition to its flavor lineup, which includes Tennessee Honey, Tennessee Fire, Tennessee Apple, and the Blackberries blend is offered at 70 proof and will be available in 750 ml bottles. So there you go.
Yeah. Go. This is, if you like honey flavored whiskey or maple or whatever, all this BS from these NDPs, go buy this stuff off the shelf for a third of the cost. It tastes pretty damn similar. Save you some money.
I think that's going to be our next blind tasting with you.
Let's do that. Yeah.
We're just going to go get some random stuff. We probably have to proof it down, though, because most of these are 70 to 80 proof. And if you're getting like a honey cast from somebody, it's probably barrel proof.
Yeah.
So we got to make it a fair fight.
That's true.
Okay.
I like that idea.
We're going to do it. Our next one is that the World Whiskey Society, they're the people that have the opulent bottles and everything like that. They have a new straight Kentucky bourbon modern bottle, is what it says. It's aged 9 years, and this core offering is designed to appeal both collectors and everyday enthusiasts. The bourbon inside is bottled at 54%, and it's a 9-year-old expression, described as a classic bourbon, and it's available for $159 on their shop.
Like the perf.
Yes. Now, this is where I probably need to say, like, you should probably go to their website and look at it. It's kind of like this, I don't know, like a puffer fish, but it's spun like 25 degrees.
Oh.
And that's saying it's like a puffer fish. It just has like all these angles and stuff onto it. So it's a very opulent type of bottle.
Cool. People like packaging.
Yep. All right. So here's our other headline is that IW Harper has unveiled its rarest offering ever, in my opinion, to date. And this is a IW Harper 34-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And this is a limited release coming from the historic Stitzel-Weller Distillery, or maybe while they still have it until it's for sale. This bourbon is distilled in 1989 and aged for 34 years, was crafted of just 4 barrels, and is bottled at cask strength, which is 63.1%. Not doing the math. However, here's the problem. There's only 11 barrels that became available out of it.
Ooh.
And only 5 are actually going to be going up for auction at Sotheby's. And these proceeds from these auctions will benefit Native Son, which is a platform dedicated to uplifting Black queer men. The initiative is supported by collaboration with 2-time Oscar-nominated actor and director Coleman Domingo, emphasizing the release's connection to cultural storytelling and supporting the Black queer community.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. 34-year-old.
It's depressing that the oldest whiskey ever is still younger than me.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, other than we had Thompson's Reserve when we tried that before we turned 40, that's about all I got. Yeah. At this point, we're past the age now where every bourbon that's going to come out is going to be younger than us.
Yeah. We're old men.
And the good thing is that most of our listeners are probably in the same boat because a lot of us all drink 5 to 10 year stuff anyway. So
yeah,
if you're still 21, you have a shot. You have a shot right now that you can still drink whiskey that was distilled before you were born
on your birthday.
Yes. Laird Bourbon Company. If you don't know Greg Keeley and all them, they're awesome. It's a veteran-owned craft distillery. They're now expanding into Tennessee with the release of Tennessee Barrel 1. This is 121.5 proof, cask strength, single barrel Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and it's unveiled exclusively at the Southern Food and Whiskey Festival experience happening in Franklin, Tennessee. That's where you're going.
I'll be there.
The full Laird lineup will be available across Tennessee through the Franklin selections, including the award-winning single barrel bourbon, bottled and bond, high wheat, small batch, rosewater bourbon, and bourbon maple cream.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I like the rosewater. Excited to see Greg. I like him.
Yes, he's a good guy. I actually just sent him a text message before you came up here to book a time and on our next recording calendar.
Nice. He'll sound sophisticated with that Aussie.
Oh, yeah, that Aussie accent. Oh, yeah, we're going to sound like
another shrimp on the barbie.
Wow, that was probably the most cultural, let's put you in a box kind of moment.
Exactly.
Right?
Great movie.
Yeah, I was about to say, thanks to Dumb and Dumber. It'll never die, White. All right, so I'm going to skip that one. We'll talk about our other headline is that Heaven Hill has announced the 19th edition of Parker's Heritage Collection. And this is featuring a Kentucky Straight American whiskey. Because guess what? It's not bourbon. They're blending mash bills. How dare they? It is a blend of 3 mash bills. It's a 15-year-old straight wheated bourbon, an 11-year-old corn whiskey, and a 12-year-old whiskey made from rye and malt. Each mash bill was aged in unique rickhouses and floors, then married together post-aging. I'd hope so. The addition of this bottle is at barrel proof, which is 122.5, non-chill filtered. It's going to be rolling out at $180 SRP. And if, as usual, this a portion of the proceeds goes to benefit ALS research in the memoriam of Parker Beam.
I'm really excited for this one. Now, so the bottle that put me on the blending path was the original Parker's blended mash bills, where they blended the wheat, their wheated bourbon and their rye bourbon. I wish they would come back with that, but I'm actually excited about this.
We're pretty close to this
because the 3 mash bills are blending together, like individually.
Are they all your favorites?
Well, individually, they're very like one-dimensional, and so I'm excited to see how these kind of coalesce together and bring out, really interesting flavors. So I'm pretty excited for this. I know probably some people are like, oh, and it just straight bourbon or rye, but
give me a 34-year-old bourbon, Heaven Hill.
Exactly. So, yeah, but I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. I'm excited to be able to try it as well. So moving on here is that A. Smith Bowman is releasing Hungarian Oak. This is the 3rd and final experimental whiskey. They're finally done experimenting.
They're done.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
They just said, we've gone through everything and we're stopping here. But this is its final experimental whiskey from its Abraham Bowman Oak series. The Abraham Bowman Oak series explores cask maturation in different oak varietals from around the world, as well as effect charring has on the flavor of the whiskey. And this particular series launched back in March of 24, and the release of, you had French oak, and then that continued with the release of American oak. How innovative. Abraham Bowman Oak Series Hungarian Oak is made from a blend of liquids aged for 12 years in charred Hungarian oak barrels and then bottled at 115 proof. The opportunity to purchase one of these bottles will be available through an online lottery taking place August 11th through the 18th. However, you have to purchase in person within 3 weeks of winning, too. And each bottle will be sold at a suggested retail price of pretty comparable, $80.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I always like the Bowman stuff. I mean, I know it's
somewhat the Sazerac portfolio. I remember talking about it a long time ago.
We had them on the podcast.
I know. It still kind of feels like we didn't get the right answer, though.
Yeah, because it's like they distill it in Frankfurt, then ship it to Virginia, then they distill it again there, and then fill it into barrels.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
It seems very inefficient.
It does. But, it's all part of a story.
I guess you wouldn't have to have mash tanks that would reduce a lot of the overhead.
You wouldn't have to do fermentation.
Yeah, you wouldn't have all you do is you just basically bring it in a truck and pump it through the still. And
exactly.
I mean,
it's what Tito's does.
Yeah. It reduces your footprint by at least 50%.
Exactly.
All right. Maybe they're onto something.
That's right.
That's what we're going to do. I'm not letting you mash anything, Ryan.
We're getting a $100 million still in here.
Yeah. Once we see this Uncle Nearest thing come around,
yeah.
We're like, yeah, well, we're going to get it for a fraction of the cost. We're going to get it for $100,000.
And I'll do a cheap beach house on 30A, not Martha's Vineyard.
I'm just going to keep living my Powerball dreams over here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of more flavored whiskey, flavored whiskey, according to you, Ryan, Blue Note has brought back its honey bourbon cask. This limited edition whiskey that sold out quickly last year. And to create this expression, American oak barrels were first used to age honey before using to age whiskey. And then they were returned in the same cask for a second aging period. The release, which was crafted in Memphis, has a mash bill of 7129, bottled at 113.86. Of course, that's barrel proof. Only 1,800 bottles will be available, and they can be purchased for a retail price of $65, BlueNoteBourbon.com, and in select U.S. markets.
There you go. At least it's not too egregious on price.
That's not egregious.
Yeah.
They
had a rye honey that was decent.
I haven't tried.
All the honey ones just taste so thick to me. They're just like...
Oh, you mean like it's mixed with honey?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, nailed that one.
I'm like...
A little viscous. I wonder why.
I'm going to just pour a bourbon, then go to my local's farmer's market and get a 15 jar of honey $15 jar of honey and just put like a teaspoon in there, and it's pretty similar.
Oh, that would be such a good idea. Let's keep these ideas rolling. Like, what if we got all the highly limited allocated honey release bourbons that we could get our hands on, or at least samples of it. So if you're listening to us, the listeners, we get samples of it. And then we do that too. We'll get a few different bourbons.
Oh yeah.
And we'll
take their base bourbon.
We'll get some local honeys. We'll just mix it together and blind sample it.
There we go.
Yeah. We'll just do that.
I'm here for it.
Prove you that it's like you don't need to go. This is exactly, if you know our good friend Wade from Texas, he's probably not going to listen to this, but he was on the show a long, long time ago when Parker's came out with the Curacao finish.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I can make this myself. He got a bottle of Heaven Hill whiskey, a bottle of Curacao, essentially just did a few drops of it. And he goes, here you go. Try to tell me it tastes any different.
Actually, I was rearranging bottles a couple weeks ago and I found that one, the Curacao, and I was like, oh, so orangey.
Still bad.
It wasn't bad. It's just so orangey, but it makes a really good old fashioned, but it is straight orange.
It is. I've got two I'm going to say for the very end here, but our other one is New Riff is still going to stay in the news because they are re-releasing their Red Turkey Wheat Kentucky Straight Bourbon for the first time in 4 years. This rare wheated whiskey is made from an heirloom grain varietal and will be available in limited quantities across New Riff's national footprint. New Riff first began distilling with Red Turkey wheat in 2016, and this is going to be aged for 5 years, bottled 100 proof, and has a suggested retail price of $60.
Yummy.
Yes.
The wheat.
It actually is good. I've had it before.
It is good.
It is good. All right. So this other one, the other two, are all coming from our friends over at Luxco, and they're not coming out with new whiskeys. No. They're going hard on the RTD, RTP, the ready to pour route. So this first one is that Penelope Bourbon has released a black walnut old fashioned in its cocktail innovation in the ready to pour market. This premium bottled cocktail is crafted with Penelope's signature bourbon. And these black walnut old fashioned features hand-selected award-winning Penelope straight bourbon and rye whiskey blended with black walnut bitters and vanilla demerara. And then some slight traces of molasses and all this other kind of stuff in there. Anyway, it's bottled at 76 proof and will be available starting nationwide for a suggested retail price of $30.
Yeah. I was texting you about this. It's amazing they came out with this so fast after the peach one.
They just had the peach one.
Yeah.
Slow down. You got time. You got to let the peach one catch the buzz first.
Yeah.
I say that kind of like catch a buzz, but yeah.
They're just taking over the shelves. They're smart.
At some point, we're going to leave room for everybody else on the shelf.
There's none. There's like 12 Penelopes up there now.
There's no. I know there's a lot of Penelope fan people out there. Are you buying every single one that they come out with? I'm genuinely curious.
I think they are.
Okay. I mean, I guess if you're a fan,
yeah,
you are. Comes to a point though. I mean, Barrel they ran into this where if you are not in our world, at what point do you start hitting consumer confusion?
Mm-hmm.
And they look at it and they're like, I can't make a decision. I'm just going to go grab Woodford Double Oak.
Yep. But I don't know. Penelope's got the branding, and not that Barrel doesn't, but they just have a different, I don't know. I think their Barrel is a very niche whiskey geek kind of brand, whereas Penelope's more kind of mainstream. And so they're able to hit more mainstream consumers with their offerings.
I agree. All right. So our last one here is that Yellowstone is now also getting the launch of Yellowstone cocktails.
No way.
Yes, they are. It's a new offering of premium, ready-to-serve cocktails made with their Yellowstone Kentucky Straight Bourbon and all natural ingredients. Yellowstone cocktails feature modern flavors to meet the needs of today's, unlike Penelope's, like, not modern. I'm just kidding. But Yellowstone, they're doing this of today's whiskey drinkers to cater to increased demand of consumers looking for convenience, high quality, and spirits base of ready-to-serve options. So every bottle delivers a bold, bourbon-forward taste in a convenient, shareable, 750 ml format. And then so each one is also, it's a spill-proof bottle. It's actually a whole new packaging that they made for this, using clean energy and packaged in fully recyclable materials. So since 2018, they're rolling out some other stuff. So anyway, the lineup here is you're going to have the Gold Rush, an Old Fashioned, and an Espresso. I guess like bourbon espresso.
Ooh.
And all these will have a retail price of $24.99.
Oh, wow.
Undercutting Penelope.
That's right. Stephen Beam's probably like, what the hell's gone? What the hell happened to my brand?
I think Stephen Beam's like, whatever.
Whatever,
As long as we're getting whiskey out of here.
I want to hear
shelves.
I can't wait to hear Fonte getting character for these.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about our gold rush.
That's right. It was when we were hiking across San Francisco and looking for gold.
Instead, I got myself a pair of Levi's.
That's right. And rice-a-roni.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I guess do a little deep dive in history of the gold rush days.
That's right.
But that's it, man. That is going to be our This Week in Bourbon. We had a longer one than usual.
We did. Back to downtown.
We are. We're going to go down there and keep setting up.
Keep dusting.
Yes. And if you do want to come help dust. We'd love to have you.
Yes.
But with that, cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.